live already. Sweet. Okay, looks like we're good to go. Got a few folks here already, so welcome, guys. It sort of dawned on me after our big chat on YouTube yesterday with all the other YouTubers. We didn't really answer a whole lot of questions, which was kind of weird. But you know what? In a way, it makes it easier to watch that back for everyone who missed it. So if you didn't see the stream I did with all the boys yesterday, check it out. Even if you don't see the live comments, it will still be hopefully enjoyable. So I thought I'd take a few questions if people have some, because basically, yeah, we didn't answer much yesterday, as I was just saying. So, all right, we've got Isaac Ord. How are you, man? Jay Millard, Franciscus. How are you? Dragos, how you going, man? Greg Walton, hi from the UK. Ahmad Kareem, how are you, man? I got a favor to ask you too. So if you can, I think I've already got your email, but I may shoot you an email. It's nothing much, but yeah, I just wanted to ask you a question. We've got U-Man, I think that's how you pronounce that, or Yui-Man. Krusty, how are you, man? One Fat Strat Cat. That's a bit of a tongue twister there, from California. Great job moderating the group chat. Hey, thanks. It was, you know what? It was kind of, the time flew. Like that 2 hours just went like that. And I had a few questions that I had prepared, and I think everybody did, but we kind of just went with it as well. And I think while it might not have been as interactive as a normal live stream, it was probably way more enjoyable to watch on the most part. At least if you don't see it live. That was kind of how I felt about it in the end. Those guys are great personalities. It was a lot of fun. We got David J. Just got asked where I'm from. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. We've got AZDH something from Chandler, Arizona. I'll call you Ads. We've got Go Vegan. Hey, dude. How are you guys? So thanks for dropping in. I just thought I'd do a quick live stream just to answer any questions you might have had or might have asked yesterday and didn't get an answer for. Oh, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. So feel free to, yeah, ask away. Got folks from Ireland here as well. Oops, I've lost the chat scrolled. Sorry. Woodmeister from Texas. Joel Kelly, Dan Murray. Wow, cool. Yeah, Phil does know his stuff. He's got the advantage of also knowing how the industry works, being that he was in it for a long time too. So he had a shop, and he knows what it's like dealing with all those companies and all of that kind of stuff. So he knows that side of the industry a lot more than probably what any of us would. I don't know that side of the industry that much. I only know about the companies that I deal with. I mean, I have a few friends that own shops, but yeah, nothing. I don't really get into conversations about all of that sort of stuff with them. So here's an interesting thing. Yui Man says, I'm Mexican and all guitar stuff is expensive in Mexico. That's pretty, like, that's not fair. If Fender Mexican guitars, you'd assume they'd be cheaper in Mexico than anywhere else in the world. I mean, there's no transportation costs and they probably still charge you more. That's the beauty of Fender. They do that to Australians as well, which is kind of obvious being that we're so far away. Anything new coming up on the channel? Yes. So I've just shot a demo of this. This is the Maton Master Sound guitar you've seen on a few demos that I've been like under the pump doing other videos. So I'm also doing like a bit of a guitar rundown of stuff that I've got. And I realized the other day that my guitar collection is kind of obscure. Like I don't have as many regular guitars as I thought I had. So that's coming up. I'm also going to shoot a follow-up video on the Katana, which I'm loving as well. I think that's a really great amp. I have a few other videos that I have planned as well. I'm doing the new Guitar Search Saturday videos. The planning has started for that. I'm not really going to give that away right now. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, it should be fun. I also have a few other, the help tutorial series of videos is starting again this week as well, which is good. I had a couple of weeks off that just because other stuff came up. That was pretty much how that worked. And I think with the Tone King, we'll be hosting the next sort of group YouTube chat on his channel. So he's a lovely guy, man, the Tone King. What a dude. He's just a laid-back, cruisy dude. So, hey, Mark's Naughty Guitars is here. How are you, mate? Do I also play right-handed guitars with swap strings? I don't. Last night, though, I played live and I grabbed my friend's right-handed Telecaster and tried to break out some licks upside down. It didn't go so well. But he's, you know, the strings are reversed. But no, I prefer to play this way. There's a reason, because, you know, imagine a right-hander playing this way and you're strumming, you're going to knock the tone controls, you're going to knock the volume control or the switch, whatever. So I always find every time I pick a right-handed guitar up and turn it upside down, I'm forever knocking the tone and volume controls with my arm. So I just choose to try and play. I only play left-handed guitars. Even, you know what's funny? Even 5 or 7 years into playing, I'd go into shops and they'd still try to convert me over to playing right-handed guitars. I'm like, no thanks. But, you know, the industry's getting better. There's shops that actually have, and companies that actually build lefties. So, yeah, this thing's pretty cool. All right, how many guitars do I own? I think I own 6. Well, I own 7 if I count my ancient nylon string acoustic guitar. It's like 60 years old or something. It was my mum's. But I don't have an acoustic, a typical steel string acoustic anymore. Just 3 electric, just 6 electric guitars. Sorry, I was reading something else when I said 3. Yes, I've got 6, 2 Australian guitars, 2 Japanese guitars, an American one and a Mexican one. So there's a video coming up, I think maybe tomorrow or the next day about that. Chris said, I found the chat very interesting. Thanks, man. And I'll tell you what, this is how cool those guys were. We actually, I think I stopped the stream at, was it 2 p.m. my time? We spoke till nearly 5 off air. So we spent 3 more hours chatting afterwards and just comparing notes and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't like, see you later, everyone left. Yeah, I had to go. I had to play last night. I said to the guys around 4:40 p.m., like, I got to go, unfortunately. So I think they stuck around and chatted till the wee hours of the morning. But I have a feeling we'll be definitely doing that again. So thanks, everyone, for joining that live stream. It was easily the most successful one we've ever had, I think, in the combined of all of our channels ever. So it's definitely a good thing to do. All right, will I be posting part 2 for the Mustang versus Katana Dirty? I purchased the 100-watt Katana head, and I'm really digging it. I can do that. Sure. No worries. I think I just did shoot a clean channel video, didn't I? So maybe I should follow that up. I'll make a note of that. And I've got the amp until Sunday. So I've got a week, just under a week left with it before I give it back to my mate, Rob. So thanks, Rob. And yeah, look, I definitely do want to do a follow-up. And a lot of people said, why didn't you cut that whole section out of the video regarding the software? And I'll tell you the reason why. The video had been rendered, right? And after I render the video, I take that 60 gig of video files or however big the file session thing is, and I dump it and destroy it. And so I had to literally go back in and lay that stuff over all those annotations after I'd already rendered the video. And I couldn't just sort of like chop a new section in. It just wouldn't flow well. So I left it as it was, but I absolutely plan on doing another follow-up video with the Katana, and also I can do a shootout dirty as well. All right, let me see what else we got here. James says, so glad to see you loving the Maton. My 503 has been my #1 since 2006. I've got the electric blue. Awesome. You know what? Maton make more electric guitars than I thought. A lot of them have been halted in production for whatever reason. I think they're getting swamped with acoustic orders or something, I heard. But yeah, I still stand by the fact this bridge pickup is arguably the best humbucker bridge pickup tone I've ever had. It really rocks. So that's... Then single coil. So yeah, it's got a bit of, it definitely has a bit of punch and power to it. And using it live last night, I've worked out my live sound, and I'm totally enjoying it. All right. Ian says, now that the software is available, would you upgrade your score 8.5 for the Katana? Look, I don't know. I still haven't had a chance to really fiddle with the software since it became available. It literally became available after I rendered the video off. I have a few videos that I've already finished that aren't uploaded to YouTube. And that was a pretty honest feeling about the amp at that particular time. I'm not sure if I'm going to change it yet because I don't know any better. Once I get into the amp and have a play around with it, I'll see how we go. But I got to say, I'm really, really impressed. And an 8.5 isn't a bad score. That's, you know, highly recommended. I don't know which amp I'd give a 10, to be honest. So that would be, you know, keep that in mind. Test pedal Mad Driver Bayang from Jose. I think I've already demoed that, actually. The Mad Drive is the same as the Bayang X Drive, just so you know. I'm pretty sure they're the same pedal, just different cases. Guitar Vegan. Oh, Go Vegan says, sorry. Love you, Guitar Search Saturdays. Thanks. This next series will be very different and hopefully even more interesting. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be huge. All right. Do I use different thickness picks for different gauge strings, guitar types, Strat versus Les Paul? No. I have a whole lot of these like random generic ones I've had forever that you lose as soon as you put them down. I've got them all like scattered throughout the house, but anytime I play live and anytime I film my demos, you always see me either playing the chicken picks, the 2.6 millimeters. I love the Dragon's Hearts picks, but I seem to have misplaced them right now, which totally sucks. I like 2.6 millimeter chicken picks, favorite pick by a mile. And you know what? I've still got the first one I was ever given. They just don't wear out. Okay, just picked up a Boss Katana 50. Absolutely love it. Your review definitely helped with my purchasing decision. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Good morning, 7:57 here in Germany. Cool. Howdy, man. I really appreciate your honest opinions on the gear you have demoed. It's really hard to find honest reviews nowadays. Yeah, look, the thing is, like, a lot of people confuse demonstration videos with reviews, and they're two totally different things. I'm known for doing demos, right? I say, like, this is what it is, and this is how it sounds, and you make up your own mind. But there's other times where that isn't. You need to have an opinion just to inform people. You know, you got people who have one point of view on something, and then if I know a bit about something, they'll trust my point of view, and I think that actually helps. It helps balance out the difference between unrealistic expectations possibly and things grounded in reality. And I'm not saying like my reviews are the best. There's plenty of people who do honest reviews, but there's the majority of people just do demonstrations of stuff. So, you know, if I ever feel like something needs to be said, that's when I'll do a actual review where I'm like, I'll cover the things people might not want to hear in a demo. That's pretty much it. I have to tell you that I loved the YouTube summit yesterday. What an awesome chat. Please keep those up. That's from RMG471. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. We're definitely going to do another one. I think the next one's at the end of the month on the Tone Kings channel. I don't think it'll be end of next month, end of June. I don't know if it'll be like coming up in the next few days, but yeah, we definitely plan on doing more of those. I think all of the guys enjoyed it. And for those who have just joined this live stream now, we spoke for like 3 hours afterwards. So they're a really cool bunch of guys. Hey, we got Pixie Licks here as well. How are you, man? Thanks again for being a part of that live stream. That was wild. We're going to line up one on your channel, man. We'll all jump in and do one as well. Pixie Licks is here. So yeah, if you didn't subscribe to his channel, check him out. The guy can play, man. It's sickening. Ahmad says it's storming like crazy here. Lost power for a bit. You know what? I lost power yesterday as well. So we've had some winds and rain here and some crappy cold weather too. All right. So Troy Marshall says, bought an American sound pedal off the back of one of your demos. No more noise control callouts from a push deluxe reverb. Callouts. Not sure what you mean by that. Sorry, but love your channel. Very helpful. No problems at all. Cheers. All right, here's an interesting question. Do you think a Katana will work okay with a bass guitar? No. Look, you know what? If you were to buy the head and run it through a dedicated bass box, possibly, but that would be something you'd want to try. I don't know and how well will it go with active pickup basses? That's something to be seen. You know, it might work, but 100 watts for a bass isn't a lot of watts. It's a lot of watts for a guitar, but when you buy a bass rig, you generally want minimum, in my opinion, of 200, minimum of 300 sometimes as well. Even though some of those Mark bass amps can sort of cram in a lot of watts for one speaker, and they're light, they're not always sort of like, they don't fill the space that well. And I've had a lot of experience using those live as well, the Mark bass stuff that are supposedly rated at 200 watts, and they're not enough. All right, so I've also been trying to tell you how happy I am that I like the sound of the Katana. I've been in love with mine since hearing it. Yeah, you know what? The first impression I had of the Katana was not favorable at all. My friend Rob, lovely guy who owns the amp that I've borrowed, he took it out, had a play. He didn't know what any of the controls on the amp were, so he used the Brown Sound one for playing blues, and we're all like, it was top end city. It was just goodbye teeth. It was all top. So yeah, he kind of started to work it out just as I borrowed it off him. So I said to him, oh, look, I'll set it up. Once I get this software to work, I'll set it up. You'll get a great tone out of it. And he also plays a Maton as well. So I reckon we'll be able to get a pretty wild sound for him. He's a great player too. So maybe I can talk him into letting me film him play. So we'll see where we go. Daniel says, love your channel, especially the Guitar Search Saturdays and cheaper pedal demos. Do you follow the AFL? I don't. I used to kind of like it when I was a kid, but I'm not that interested in it anymore. My family are obsessed with it, but I'm more into the basketball. All right, we've got beer. I think the Viper even has a setting that works with bass guitar. Okay, that's interesting. Look, I haven't used the PV Viper, but yeah. What do I think Fender will do about the failing GT line? I don't know. Look, I almost wonder, like, I don't know if I was the first one to say, look, these amps aren't that good. They're okay if you want to practice at home, and I stand by that. If you're a guy who wants to plonk an amp on the floor, stream music to it and all that kind of stuff with headphones, that's fine. There's way cheaper alternatives to that, but that's an option for you. Like we said in the live stream yesterday, they fixed a lot of, like Pixie actually said in the live stream, Bluetooth was a problem that nobody had, or no one needed fixing. Like, who needs all that stuff? But anyway, yeah, look, I don't know what they're going to do. They're still going to sell. They'll sell thousands and thousands of them, irrespective of, you know, I consider myself a small YouTuber in the scope of how big YouTube is. And a lot of people that will buy those amps won't even see my review. They probably don't even look for gear on YouTube. I'd be surprised if my comments or other comments from other YouTube channels hinders that too much. We'll see what happens. If they drop to half price, then that'll be a good sign. All right, Ahmad Kareem says, the Katana and Viper were two amps that were never on my radar. You definitely changed my opinion on both amps. I think that might have been in context to Viper. Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. I got you. What are my thoughts on Blackstar ID30T VPs? I haven't played a lot of Blackstar ID amps. I actually haven't played any I'll try and go down to a local shop and have a fiddle around on one. I get a lot of questions about that amp, so I'll see what I can do. Hey bro, any chance of a demo of wet dry rigs with smaller amps? What do you mean exactly by that? Do you want to just clarify what you mean? And I'm happy to help if I can. All right, Krusty says he has a Fender 59 Tweed Twin. Sweet. Nice. Very cool. All right. 60 cycle hum review was in line with yours. Yeah, look. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Yeah, those 40s, as soon as I heard the 40 on, I think, Henning's review, I was like, this is awful. And it's good that, I don't know, it's weird. It's almost like that gravy train effect. And I'm not saying Henning's on that by any means, so don't take that the wrong way. I'm just saying, like, he didn't buy, his was first. I think his review was first. Then I did mine, and mine was like the first, maybe you should reconsider buying this if you're expecting it to be better kind of review. And then I started seeing a lot more of that. So I don't know if that was coincidence or people actually thought that as well, or it was the bandwagon thing. I'm not really too sure. But like I said, everyone likes different things, and everyone will use the amps in different situations. I had, as I mentioned the other day, I had no expectations of a Fender Mustang in a live situation. And then when I worked out that it was great for that, I expected the same from the new amps, and that's where I was let down. All right, so the Fade to Black tone that I made for Mustang Monday was fantastic. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. You know what I love about the Mustang V2s, the Mustang 3s and all that kind of stuff? How easy that was to dial in. It took me like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes tops to get that sound. Some of the other ones I've done, like the Stevie Ray and that, they took a long time. But in terms of that particular patch, it felt like it just played itself. And it made itself, basically. And what I plan on doing, I might shoot this video tomorrow as well if I have time. I'm going to do a video on how I actually do this and the process behind creating your own patches and what to listen for as well. Poor Alamo Music posted a video about the GT, how it was a great upgrade, in the comments. Nailed him. Yeah, look, I commented on a few other videos, but I ended up removing my comments. I felt like I wasn't like flaming the guy. I said, look, he seems like a nice guy, but might be misinformed about the differences. And I saw one A/B test as well where someone put the Mustang GT 100 and the 3 next to each other, and they decided to clip the audio on the Mustang version 2. So those kind of, that's a credibility ruiner. Ruiner? Is that even a word? I don't know. John says, hi Shane, the summit was great. Pity I was working yesterday. No worries, man. Well, the great thing about that live stream, as I mentioned earlier, you can watch it without having the live comments. I mean, that's always more fun, but we didn't really answer that many questions, and I sort of apologized for that. We just got chatting, and it was a lot of fun. So that's definitely something you can watch and just enjoy, based on the fact it was just a really great discussion. I really enjoyed it. All right. Have you heard of Australian-based artist guitars? I've only seen them on eBay. I thought they were kind of cheapish kind of stuff. Like I don't think Nick in the States would touch that stuff. I could be wrong though. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm pretty sure Artist, just from my memory recall, is like sub $100 guitars in Australia, which, yeah, something like that anyway. Hi Shane, did you look at the Ague Fish channel? Well, you know what? I actually promoted his channel on my channel quite some time ago. I actually speak to Hunter a lot via messages and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. So I sort of helped promote his channel back in maybe about a year ago. I was doing some collaborations with other YouTube channels where we'd sort of give a shout out to new channels, up and coming channels, all that kind of stuff. And his was, I think, the first or second channel that I promoted on that series as well. So I'm a big believer in helping guys when I can. And I mean, he doesn't really need that much help. He's great at what he does, but I gave him some suggestions in the early days. And I if he ever asks, I do that. You know, I'm always willing to help these kind of guys. So, yeah, I'm very aware of his channel. I actually I'm sub to him. I comment on his stuff, and we speak quite often. So I'm doing a collaboration with Aggie Fish coming up. Yeah, I don't want to give that away, but I'm in the process of working this out. So, all right, no audio. ... No video. I'm not too sure what that means, but there's plenty of audio on this stream. Otherwise, people would say so. Artists are rubbish. Avoid them at all costs. Fretboards are a real mess. Okay. Now, I had a feeling that might be the case. I thought they were kind of cheap and I don't want to say nasty, but I heard, you know, maybe a fixer-upper opportunity. In your opinion, I can't even talk. In your opinion, do pedals work well with print on reverb issues? With print on reverb issues. You're going to have to re-ask that question, man. Oh, Princeton. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Just don't turn the Princeton up past about 6. Hey, Shane, hope you're well. Have you tried the Marshall Silver Jubilee Mini? I reckon you would love it if you did. No, not yet. I actually tried a series of Marshall amps that were sort of like blue and orange and sort of red Tolex. They got like a new series of 30-watt amps, I think. They were pretty cool. I was panicking because I couldn't hear or see you, but weirdly had the chat thingy wrong. No worries. The way you look while playing the Maiden, I can see it becoming your #1 axe for a long time. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like I'd seen this. I've been eyeballing this guitar for probably 6 months. Like you saw in the last Guitar Search Saturday video, I was hanging up on the wall. I played it previous to that. Prior to that, maybe a few months before shooting that video. And I actually asked the guy, like, how much are these worth? And he gave me the price. I said, geez, that's actually really good for what you're getting. You know, I actually did some research on Maiden electric guitars on this particular one. And this is actually a vintage single coil, which explains why it sounds so... I'm playing through the Bugera right now on 1 watt mode, but it's very mellow. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the original vintage pickups I had in my 52 reissue on the neck, at least. I played this last night, and it was so good. I played through my friend's PV Bandit, one of the new series ones, because it was set up, and I thought I'll give it a go. And yeah, it absolutely ripped. I love it. It feels great, and all I had to do was adjust the neck a little bit just to give it a little bit of relief this way. A mate of mine who works in a store, I think, or owns a shop, said the action looks a little bit, the neck was too straight. So I found what I needed to do to loosen the neck, and then just the truss rod quarter turn, put it down, waited, and it plays great. So yeah, I don't know if anything will ever replace my 52. Like I feel like that might still be my #1 choice on guitars, but yeah, you know, I got a video coming up about my very small guitar collection and how I think it ended up as weird as it did. All right, so Ahmad has got the new Les Paul, and he's a lefty as well, so he says it's going great. That's awesome stuff. Put the Maiden on the bridge. Yeah, the bridge is where this thing shines. In my opinion, the bridge pickup is when I use this live, every solo is bridge pickup. See how great it sounds. Hang on. Let's see if we can get some gain happening on this little thing. There's no gain on it. Oh, we're on single coil mode too. Let's try this. It's so cold in here today. I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit more dirt. Yeah, so the bridge pickup's where it's at. It's got a really sort of aggressive sound in a really good way. Francisco says the In the Blues community are killing it. Yeah, well, thanks for all the support, folks. Everyone, has just been amazing. Like supporting the live streams, supporting the videos, all that kind of stuff. It's been great. Agifish style unboxing with host Shane. Yeah, I don't know if I could deal with all of those air horns, man, to be honest. I'm a little bit old school. No, we're going to do a video coming up that I think I'm going to try and work with a few other YouTubers. The videos will still be, I don't want to give it away yet. Well, just wait. Trust me, they're going to be good. And you might find some people in this mix you really like as well. So, yeah, I need to start sending some emails around. Okay, so Francisco says, do music stores in Australia carry their own brand? Good question. Not to my knowledge. There might be a few. No, actually, would be the quick answer. I'm pretty sure everything in every music store would come from, either a different vendor or supplier or someone else who makes something. I don't know any stores in Australia that actually make anything themselves. It's a good question. It'd be interesting to find out if any actually do. So Monty Saunders says, hey, Shane, will the Guitar Search Saturdays be returning sometime in the future? Yes. I needed a break. 10 at a time is a lot of work. That last one took me nearly 2 days in total. Not like full days, but I must have worked 6 hours on it in 2 days in a row. So they're big projects. I love doing them. I actually prefer doing them over demos. I know that for most people might like conventional pedal demos. I don't mind doing guitars or amps, something a little different. But when it comes to just doing straight demos day after day, doing a Guitar Search Saturday video, a Mustang Monday video, all that kind of stuff is actually extremely liberating for me creatively. And just I get to look at something else, and I don't have to use all the masking tools on the videos to get the pedals cut out and all that kind of stuff. So it's coming back. Look, I hope by the end of June I'll have the first series done, the next series done, or at least I'll have them on the way by then. So yeah, hang about for this series. It's going to be good. All right. Joshua says, will I ever get a custom shop guitar? And which company would you choose? I've owned a custom shop guitar. I had a 1956 custom shop Les Paul with P90 pickups, and I ended up selling it. I don't know if I regret that or not. I don't know how I feel about that. I got my money back on it pretty much, which was good. So I kind of feel like I don't need a custom shop guitar in my collection because I'm not working music. I do play live, but I'm not playing every week. And for me to justify like $4,000 or $5,000 for a guitar financially doesn't make a lot of sense, but also doesn't make a lot of sense when I've got a really great collection of guitars that sound fine. Having a guitar worth that much sitting around, I don't really want my money tied up in a $4,000 guitar anymore. I really don't. But yeah. The pickup cover probably has some influence in making that Maton single coil sound mellow. It possibly could. While I've built a few pedals over the years, I haven't actually really gotten into how the pickups work and if the cover makes that much of a difference or what. So yeah, good point. Yeah, they're pretty cool. All right. Do I like the Maton better than my Tokai Love Rock? Interesting question. When I first got the Tokai, I thought the bridge pickup or the tone of this particular guitar was going to be like it killed the Tokai. I just thought, oh, this is fantastic. When you get a new guitar, you're like, oh, this is the best thing ever. And then you play it against it and you go, oh, okay, so it's not better. It's just very, very different. So I'm not going to say it's a better sounding guitar. I'm just going to say it's a different sounding guitar, but just as nice. All right. Daniel says, I agree. I'm from Australia myself and would love to see Aussie companies shown to the world. I actually need to go back and do some amp demos for Evans amps. So I want to go back and do that. I got sick after I was supposed to do them, and then I got to get in touch with him and do some more amps. So the problem with Australian companies, and this isn't all of them, like the pedal companies kind of get it, but a lot of other Australian companies, they're kind of like someone said on the live, I think it was Philip Ignite said it, they don't understand YouTube. They don't understand the internet. They kind of just assume people are going to buy their stuff just because, and even though no one knows about them, they're very inactive when it comes to like trying to get their stuff out to people. And that's what I've noticed a lot. Americans are all over it on the most part. And people from Europe, amazing. Like all the Greek companies I've dealt with have been the best, and the American companies as well. But they get it. They know how great, how easy it is just to get a product to someone and then have it shown to thousands of people really quickly. And they can't do that from their channel. They can't do it. They might only have 50 subscribers. So what's my favorite delay pedal right now? I'm loving the Wampler Tape Echo pedal. I think that's a really great pedal. I have kind of like 3 favorites that I own out of the ones that I've tried that I've kept. The Maxon 8010, because it's simple, 3 controls, sounds pretty good. I'd say the Wampler pedal sounds more versatile than that. And I love a Boss DD7. As boring as that sounds, it's a really great pedal. Ever thought of filming shops with their knowledge instead of on the sly? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if a lot of shops would get it either. That's the other thing. Like I don't have good relationships with a lot of stores, but I think because it's just great promotion that now that I've done it, I'm sure I could go in there and do it in a different way as well. There's no doubt about that. So the thing is, like, it's good to keep it sort of, it's better to know. I always feel like it's just good to go in there and see things as it is, as opposed to having anything staged or changed. I think just go in, check it out, see how awesome stuff is, and make comments on it. I mean, you know, it's not doing any harm other than giving these shops like 6,000 views really quickly. So have I ever heard of Piranha amps? Spelt without the H. I picked up a 15-watt combo from Evolution Music in the Cranbourne area, and it sounds great. Piranha amps. That's interesting. I might have to look that up. I'll share this with you guys. Let's see if this works. So I haven't done this for a while. We'll screen share here. And so many amps and gear. Oh, okay. No, it's come up with PV here. But they're obviously not the ones you're talking about. The ones without the H. Here we are. Piranha. All right, let's bring this up. We got a website. Any photos? There's no photos. Just 3,000. Sorry, I'll look into them. Damn, I was hoping to be able to share that with you guys. Quinton James says he's done several reviews, and like you, I've always given my honest opinion. Cool. The other thing is too, like I mentioned on the live stream I did the other day, when I do demos of gear that I know is good but isn't my cup of tea, like if I get I'm not a huge fuzz pedal fan, but it's one of those things where I know thousands of people love fuzz pedals. So I just do the demo and I can tell a good fuzz pedal from a bad one now, but that's just one of those things. This is my connection is messing up. I don't know if it is. It looks like it's all good. If my connection's not working, folks, let me know. What's my opinion on single coils, noiseless single coils, specifically lace sensors? If you're going to go Strat pickups, probably check out the Zex coil pickups. I think the lace sensors are good, but they kind of take out a bit of your tops. You lose that Stratiness to some extent. They still sound nice, but I found them a little too mellow on the tops for me. But otherwise, they're a good pickup. I used to have a Les Paul knockoff made in Italy in the 80s. It was awesome. Let me know what brand that was, man. That sounds interesting. All right. There's some funny questions going on here. Hi, considering a Barefoot Effects sparkling yellow overdrive, your opinions? Barefoot Effects make great stuff, but you may need to mortgage your house. No, look, they make really, really good pedals. Some of the, I think I did a top 10 video a few years back, and a couple of their pedals got in that. They're really, really good. So Pixie Lick says the Piranha bites, and he cough after it. So yeah, just if it's a higher gain amp, he's going to be the guy that knows. So I trust his opinion. All right, so hey, I'll tell you what, I got some pedals sent here. So how about we just do a quick look at those? I don't even know what they are yet, so we'll do a bit of a. I'm using the wrong webcam. I don't know. It's always the way. Anyway, it'll work out all right. So this stuff came in from Greece. I call it the home of tone now. So yeah, Crazy Tube Circuits is the name of the company. So yeah, let's check this out. We'll see what it looks like. It looks pretty cool so far. I'll answer some questions while we go. I won't bore you with just unboxing stuff, so don't stress there. What's my favorite overdrive pedal? Well, right now it's the VS Audio or Versus Audio Royal Flush, still by a mile. I'm actually really loving the Wampler Tumnus in combination with that pedal too. Ooh, look at this. Hopefully that's going to focus. It's called the Pinup. It's an octave sort of fuzz pedal, I'm assuming. So yeah, man, it looks wild. That's the chick. Looks like Harley Quinn, kind of. Yeah, maybe. Is Harley Quinn? Anyway, for the Batman fans, just to watch the animated series years ago. So that looks wild, and that's something different too. I don't often get pedals like that. That's, yeah. We'll see how we go. Got this one as well, which is the Ziggy. Same company. And yeah, looks like it's a overdrive pedal. I haven't actually looked at what each of these are yet, but it's either an overdrive or distortion, so that should be fun. And yeah, so that's that. And we've got one called the Insane Tone. Octave it up like Hendrix. I'll try and actually, you know what? I'll try and pinch a few licks for that video. I think I need to do something a little different when I get stuff like that. Absolutely. And this one, this looks really cool. Check this out. It's got like a vintage flag thing in the background. It's called the Stardust. Man, the finish on these are insane. You know, there's only a few pedals I've come across over the years that have like a ridiculously high gloss to them. I would say these, Wampler. The other one I'm thinking of is VFE pedals also have that. They got this like ridiculously great sort of, it's hard, the camera is not doing it justice. Wait till I shoot some close-ups of these things. They look like ridiculous. They look really good. And they got that, not that it matters for tone, it's the tone paint, actually, that's what it is. If you spray sparkles in with the color, it gives you better tone. So keep that in mind, folks. I should work in retail. It's the tone paint. I reckon Pixie will know what I'm talking about there. Looks lovely. Does it sound lovely as well? I don't know. I just literally opened them up. I hopefully will film them maybe Thursday this week and start bringing out some demos. What do I think about the Digitech 300A for bedroom use? That's another piece of gear I'm not familiar with. This is where you need more than one person on the stream. We may have to just do a live Q&A and have everybody contribute, where because with all the gear is tough. Oh, all right. So it's like a multi-effects deal. Look, if you can work that out and it gives you a good sound, then there's nothing wrong with it. For me, it might get too confusing. I don't know. It looks like a complicated next really device. I'm not sure what it is. So that's what you're talking about there, the Texas Blues. I'm not going to say that that's not a good pedal. I've never used it, but my assumption sometimes is with these things that they get overly complicated very quickly, or adjusting what you need to might also be a problem. But that said, it looks like you actually have some analog style. Is there a volume on there? Yeah, there is. So you know what? You might be okay, but just watch the top end. That would be my suggestion. All right. Wild stuff. The organ pedal is the Cool B9. Magic Tone Sparkles. See, there you go. I wonder if it's powder coat versus regular paint. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's powder coated as well as yeah, I would say that would be because I know when I've tried to, well, I'm not a pro at it, but when I've sprayed pedals with paint and then used gloss, it never comes up like that. Like it could be powder coated, but also maybe it's some sort of gloss with sparkle in there. I'm not sure how they've done it, but yeah, it looks, this camera sucks. I should have hooked up my other one. Sorry, guys. My actual video camera and done it. But yeah, it looks ridiculous in a good way. So yeah. But it's all about the tone, so we'll see how they are. So far, I haven't been disappointed with any pedals from Greece. They've all been great. There was one I did one multi-effects pedal. It was an analog one, but that was the only one that didn't blow me away. The rest of them were bloody awesome. Okay. Would I choose between the full-tone OCD and the Barber gain changer? I haven't used that, man. I've only used the OCD, which I've got one right over there, actually. How do they paint satin finish? I need to make mine satin again. I have a feeling it's some sort of like spray thing. I had never built guitars either, man. So I'm sure there's plenty of guitar channels that can show you how to do that sort of stuff. Someone asked how important a compressor is to tone. I don't know. It's like if you play clean a lot, in my opinion, they're a benefit because it kind of, and if you play clean and you play a lot of rhythm guitar, they're a really good thing to have. I just saw another funny question. I'll answer that in a sec. It's not something I use live. I've tried using them live a few times and I see them more as a boost in a live situation. But if you're going to be playing rhythm guitar a lot and you play single coils or something like that, they're a really good pedal for sort of like bringing up the quiet sections and squishing the louder sections and giving you a very average sound. And not average as in mediocre, like average is in terms of dynamic range. So they can be good for that. I don't know if they're essential unless you have something in mind. If you just want to use them to get more sustain on single note stuff, you can do that. But yeah, I don't know whether or not they're like essential unless you feel like you need that in your particular style of music. For what I play, I like my dynamics. I don't need a compressor pedal for what I do. But yeah, there's other styles of music where they might be more essential than others. Playing a lot of funk, I would highly recommend it. I know a lot of country guys swear by them. Nearly every country player will have a compressor pedal. So it really brings up certain things that having it off just doesn't. Someone asked, when is DJ White Noise coming back? I tell you what, whenever I get pedals that are so bad that I don't want to demo them, that's when he'll be back. Man, that was like 2 years ago now, I think. What was it, a year ago? It was either 1 or 2 years ago because my birthday is in a few days. And I did that right after my birthday, either last year or the year before. I can't remember how long it was ago, but yeah, anyway. No, it would have been last year. You know why? Because that was one of the first videos I edited on the Mac. I remember. Okay. Quentin says he's currently baking corn dogs. All right, cool. How would I go about refinishing a guitar and putting a custom drawing on the pick guard? Strat style. I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm not really a guitar sort of, builder. So those kind of things are a little outside of my scope. Francisco says, in my opinion, compressors are a little bit like a double-edged sword. You could boost the lows and cut the highs, but at the same time, you'll lose your dynamics. Yeah, and one thing a lot of people don't tell you about a compressor pedal, if you're playing single coils and you're in a room where it makes a lot of buzz, then you're going to get more buzz if you have it set in a way where it's bringing up everything, because your entire noise floor comes up with that boost and it becomes more prevalent or prominent. So yeah. What's your favorite turnarounds in 12-bar blues? Well, there's one I've been playing a little bit. Actually, there's a Ronnie Earl one, which I really like. Let's fire this thing back up. This is like if you're playing in E, it kind of works nicely. I'm just going to wait for it to warm up. Come on. That'll do. So yeah, you play like your E and G string. Oh, you can't see that at all, can you? So you're picking E, G, and E. It's kind of a nice one. It's a bit of a Ronnie Earl one. You can also go up with that as well. You don't have to just go backwards. Hey mate, what's your opinion of amp simulators like the Sans amp? They're awesome. They're unreal. I've done a lot of demos on the Joyo American Sound pedals and all that. That's what those were based on. I think they're great. If you're recording at home and you don't want something with a million controls or digital options, it's as good as you're going to get. No one on my last album, not my most current album, but the one before that, that's all we used. Not one amplifier was used in that recording, and it sounded so good. We had the Eric Clapton Tremolux amp. We had a whole lot of my amps and a lot of Rick's amps, and we mic'd them all up, and then we used one of those, and we went, well, that just sounds great. So we didn't end up using the amps at all. All we did was put a reverb pedal after it, and then our effects pedal before the amp pedal, and it was fantastic. So highly recommend them for people who want to record. I've used them to death. I think I said there's a video I put up years ago called recording a guitar solo for an album or something generic like that, and that's what we used. And you can check that out and see if you like the tone. Really random, but will you ever make a video where you play a guitar with active pickups and attempt to have it clean up with a Fender tube amp? Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if I've ever really come across too many lefties that have active pickups. And I guess that's the limitation of, I am limited on how many guitars I can find that are lefties. I don't know if I'd ever buy a guitar with left-handed pickups, with active pickups or not. But it'd be an interesting test. There's one guy I really love who uses active pickups, and that was Michael Burks. Look up a song called Empty Promises. If you can find the album version, he's using EMGs in a Strat of all things, and the tone is so good. It sounds awesome. Have I got a preference for simulator pedals? It just depends on what sound you want to go for. That's what it comes down to. And I say, do you like Fender? Do you like Vox? Do you like Marshall? Do you like Boogie? That's what it comes down to. Each of them do one of those. So for me, I like Fender and Vox tones the most. Actually, the Mesa Boogie one was really good too. Watchman says, you guys were great, Pixie. You've got to do that again, off the cuff gasaholics. So yeah, Pixie, man, line one up, Steve, and we'll schedule it for whenever you want, and shoot out a link, and I'll be there. Hey, Shane, do you use any iPhone apps like Tone Stack or Jam Up? I don't. I try it. This is the thing with me. Like, I'm on a computer most of the day editing, I'm doing that kind of stuff. The last thing I want to do is pick up a phone. And that's just me. Like, I can see the advantage of doing that. If you don't always have tech around you, when I play guitar, I want to plug it into an amp and not have a phone in my hand. That's another thing I hated about the Mustang was get the phones out of people's hands and play guitar. That whole phone thing was what kind of frustrated me about it. The last thing I want to do at a gig is have to have my phone on. I want to turn it off and play. I don't want to have it on so I can adjust something quicker than, that. Yeah, so no, I haven't tried them. I had offers to try a whole lot of apps and software and stuff, but in the end, I just wasn't that into it. How many guitars do I actually have? Well, I don't have anywhere near as many anymore. I've got 6 electric guitars, and they're all different, and 1 nylon string acoustic, or nylon string classical guitar, I should say. Other than that, that's it now. I'm a changed man. How did I get my playing style and the way you hold the guitar is like a shotgun is unusual. So one thing about me is I don't play sitting down ever. I only do that when I'm either filming a demo occasionally or if I'm doing these. I stand and play. I don't play seated. I actually don't like playing seated for a couple of reasons. A, because you end up doing this and you end up with really bad shoulders and hunched back. So I always play, I've taken the strap off, but I always play standing. So that makes more sense when you see a guitar like this and your posture's good, as opposed to sitting there like this, which isn't good for anything. If you do that for an hour, good luck doing anything else, especially when you get older. Thanks for the iPhone answer. It's what I thought you should say. I wish I didn't have neighbors that made me play into headphones. Franciscus, catch you later, man. Thanks for hanging around. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging around, by the way. Watchman says, what guitar is that? That's one of my, that's the Maton Master Sound. I've just shot the demo finally after, like, how long have I had it? Maybe 2 weeks now. Usually when I get a guitar, I demo it straight away, but I kind of like to use them for a while before I comment on them because you're more informed that way as well. So that's one of those things where the video should be pretty informed, hopefully. Brett Kingman does a lot of Tech 21 stuff. Why don't you do that? Tech 21 didn't want to send me anything. And their stuff isn't cheap either. So I can see how that could work. They might not want to send it out for free, but I don't want to pay $200-300 a pedal just to do videos for a company and be out of pocket. So that's kind of how that works. My channel's much larger than Brett's. I'm not saying I'm better than him in any way. He's a fantastic player. He's a lovely guy. I've met him. It's funny, we've never done anything together. We live probably like 25 minutes away from each other. I've only met him once. I actually recorded another guy out of his band the other day too. So yeah, I should, or maybe I'll shoot him a message. That'd be interesting. Maybe we can throw him on a live stream with us one time. I don't think he does any of that. All he does is demos of gear. And I think, he had the biggest channel in Australia for quite some time. But like Gear Man Dude, like if you're just doing one thing all the time, you're going to die. Gear Man Dude's enjoyable, but it's the same thing. It's hard to sort of just watch videos on demos all the time. What's the best clone? It's funny you asked that, actually, because right now I've got like 6 or 7 of them, including an original. Not like the Centaur, but I've got the Clone KTR and about 6 other clones. That's another video I need to shoot this week as well. So I'm going to be pretty busy. Been having to play sitting for a few years now. Yeah, look, sitting down and playing is not good. And if you play live at all, then you should be practicing standing up. That's one thing a lot of people don't say. Look, if you're aware of your posture and you can sit fine and comfortably and you have your shoulders back, then you're good. You can actually develop pretty bad posture from playing guitar long-term sitting down, hunched forward. So you got to get out of the habit of that. Just be really aware if you're sitting and playing, sit sort of straight. Like even Pixie, when I see his videos, he's sitting straight. He's not, he's not sitting like this over the guitar. And I see so many people doing that. It's just not good for you. Yeah, so I've got the Tumnus, which is a good one. I've got the Archer. I've got the Pony Boy. I've got there's lots. Anyway, I think I posted a photo on Instagram the other day about all the different ones I've got. Actually, that wasn't all the ones that I had at that point, but yeah, there was a lot of them. So I post photos of gear as it comes in on Instagram, and I like to get stuff out there. It's sort of like the preview to what's coming up on there. Instagram's like the best sort of social network, because you just follow whatever you want to follow. You don't get any racial rants. You don't get any politics if you don't choose to follow any of that stuff. All you get is photos of stuff that's fun. Cats on amps and electric guitar stuff. So what more is it? Gearman Dude is a laugh to listen to. His descriptions and stuff is hilarious. Yeah, well, that's it. He's a fun guy for doing demos. There's no doubt about it. I just wish he had taken a little more pride in his recordings over the years, because some of them are just they're so bad. I think I had some stuff sent to him at one point from another company. They said, "Do you recommend anyone?" And I said, "Yeah, how about these guys?" And Tone King was one of those guys at that point too. So yeah. But I have back problems when I stand. Unfortunately, love a heavy Les Paul. Yeah, that's one of those things. If you're basically, if you've got a sore back, a Les Paul's not the guitar of choice, and probably neither is a Maton. These master sounds are just as heavy. Well, close, 3/4 as heavy anyway. All right, let me just check something here, guys. See how we're doing for time. Check this out. How long have I been streaming? I can never seem to find that on here. But yeah, I just thought I'd take some questions, because yesterday, as awesome fun as that was, like we kind of abandoned the the actual chat, and we got like 1,500 comments or some crazy amount going in there. I know a lot of those would have been questions, so hopefully this at least helps answer a few questions you guys have. And I have lots of interesting videos coming up pretty soon, and then back to Guitar Search Saturdays and all that kind of stuff. So there's going to be a bit of a change in that series, which I know everyone will like. At least I hope so. I'm confident it's going to be good. Oh, okay. So Great Savani saying he's been crippled and has to play sitting down. I gotcha. Sorry, I might have misread that comment. All right. Do I like Dr. Z amps? I'm on the fence about that. I think the only one I've heard, it's a really like dry and hard sort of sound. It's good. It just, I don't know if it's as sort of as juicy as some of the other amps I've played, but they're loud. They're pretty loud. I nearly bought one years ago, actually. When I was going to get the Two Rock, I was so keen on getting a 30-watt one, but I think at the time I wanted reverb on an amp, and that didn't have it. Like as Greg Koch would say, the talent control. The more reverb you need, the worse you play. So that's why he's lots. So happy you mentioned the software issue on the Katana. I bought one months ago and couldn't use Studio, and I barely played it. You're the first one to ever. Oh, you're first one to say it never worked with Windows 10. Well, it didn't. I couldn't even get to the software. There was nowhere to download Windows software, and the Mac software. This is what happened. A lot of guys said, "Oh, it worked with my Mac, no problems. What's wrong with yours?" It worked probably before they upgraded to Sierra. They might have had that already installed before they upgraded their operating system. From what I read on forums and on their website, Sierra has only just been supported now. I could be wrong. Like I said, I haven't looked into it as much as probably some guys out there, but yeah, I definitely couldn't utilize the amp to its full potential. So that was my review. It was, that's how I do it. So besides YouTube, what pays your bills? So what I do, a lot of the gear demos that a lot of stuff that comes in, I resell. That helps me cover my costs. It's either that or charge companies a fortune. I prefer to resell a lot of stuff. Unlike, I don't need to have 100. I had a point where I had maybe 170 pedals in my cupboard. So I decided to flip them. I either flip them on my own website, which I made. I either put them on eBay, or I offer Patreon subscribers first dibs on anything before I put them up on for sale anywhere else. I use the Facebook groups, and I literally just move stuff, and that helps get me by. That's it. I also occasionally, because I'm a bit of a nerd too, occasionally I'll build websites for people. I also do some recordings for bands from time to time. It's infrequent, but I do that. And occasionally I'll also do filming for live bands as well, which is infrequent as well. But every now and then that comes up. So yeah. I love that classic 30 that Tone King had last night in Tweed. Yeah, me too. It's funny. I actually didn't know he had. I didn't know he had a Tweed amp in that collection. I thought it was all a Tweed free zone. So I was quite proud of him. I thought we'd convert him to being a blues man. Okay. I just got asked what pedals are on my board right now. I'm actually going to do a video about what I'm using, so hang in there. It won't be too far away. I've done the first part of that video already, which goes through the guitars, and I'll go through the pedals and all that. So hang in there. It hasn't changed much if you've seen any of my recent demos. That's kind of the Achilles stuff. Is kind of what I'm still using right now. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to hit the road. A huge thanks to everyone who's been in this live stream. It's been great. Another great hangout here, guys. This is super cool. And I average about 90 people watching, so that was cool. Yeah, give the video a thumbs up if you choose to. If not, that's totally cool. If I answered your question, I'd appreciate that. Thanks again to Pixie Licks for jumping in here as well, and also for being on the live stream yesterday. Like I said, after we went off air, we were all talking for 3 hours. So I hope he got some sleep at the end there. But yeah, I really look forward to doing more of those. I think that's a really positive thing to do for everybody. And I'm more than happy to be a part of it in any of these guys' channels and jump on and, you know, offer support to them too. So yeah, and thanks again to everyone who supported that live stream. If you haven't seen it, just press play and go about your business at home. I think you're going to enjoy it a lot. Guys are full of personality, and someone in the chat I remember reading said Steve/Pixie Licks and Tone King have some great stories. And not only do they have great stories, they tell great stories. They say it in a really engaging way, and that's something that I don't have. So I appreciate their charisma on the stories there. So just don't shoot off. You'll freak the Americans if you say, yeah, absolutely. So stay tuned this week. More videos coming up. Different stuff is coming up. And I'm going to be doing the tutorial video, which is also going to go up pretty soon, 2 days, on Wednesday, my time. And I've got a few other things coming up as well. And the next couple of Mustang Mondays are already done as well. So, yeah, there's some interesting and different patches coming up. Maybe some samey stuff, but also stuff that I enjoy. I think that's what it comes down to in the end as well. All right, guys, well, take care. Thanks so much for hanging around. And, yeah, I'll catch you soon. Thanks again.